Tonight on News Nation Prime, the government shutdown now in its second month with a record-setting deadline on the horizon. Tonight, millions of Americans at risk of losing key life-saving benefits. As temperatures drop, nearly 6 million households could lose federal benefits to help heat their homes. While SNAP benefits that helps feed 1 in 8 Americans, including millions of children and veterans, expired this weekend.
SNAP benefits is critical in our lives. You know, it is the deciding factor whether we eat or don't eat.
What the Trump administration is saying about when the shutdown could end and how soon those benefits could start going out again.
So we're bringing in our panel this hour, Republican strategist Matt Klink and former Obama administration official Jared Bernstein. Gentlemen, welcome both of you. Matt, why don't we start with you? I want to get your reaction to Senator Fetterman's comments there about the shutdown. He says no one party is to blame. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, look, at this point, at 34 days in, I think there's enough blame to go around for everyone. If history is any judge of how this will be gauged in the long run, typically the political party that wants to add things or take things out of a clean continuing resolution to keep the government open is the one that loses. And if that's the case right now, that would be the Democrats. But look, I don't think that if you're at home and you don't have your paycheck, or if you're in the military and you're not getting paid, you don't care who's at fault. You just want the government to do its job and end this thing, especially with the holidays coming up where people kind of need money to get things done. And even though the cost of a turkey dinner is down under Donald Trump, if you don't have any money to buy that turkey dinner, it still is unaffordable. So each day that goes on, these sanctions are going to, or the closure is going to bite more and more, and the pressure is just going to grow on everyone.
Jared, do you think the Dems are going to be the losers at the end of all of this?
I mean, I think it takes a special kind of arrogance to, during government shutdown, build a $200 million ballroom funded through corporate donations that you won't even disclose, and then buy 2 new corporate jets for the Secretary of Homeland Security. I think that shows a real tone-deaf ear about what real Americans are going through when people are going without paychecks. So, no, I feel pretty confident that when this is all said and done, Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to have way more egg on their face and suffer at the polls for it.
And I want to point out, Matt, my producers are telling me turkey prices are up 40% compared to last year. But
interesting. Okay.
We'll let
the
that
Walmart
slide.
CEO said that they weren't, but okay.
Okay, so let's talk about flight delays that are piling up right now, in our nation during the shutdowns, the SNAP restrictions that are in place for millions of Americans. Do you see the sense of urgency in Congress to stop these problems before they get worse?
No, I mean, I listened to the talking head shows this weekend. I just listened to the full Donald Trump interview on another television network. The arguments are precisely the same that they were when this thing started 34 days ago. I don't see this thing ending anytime soon unless something radical changes over the next couple of weeks. Congress isn't even back in Washington, D.C. until Tuesday. Maybe even later in the week, because a number of states hold elections on Tuesday. So I don't see this thing. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. I'll put it that way.
And Jared, I want to go to another topic quickly. One of the most prominent policies enacted by the administration so far, the president's crackdown on illegal immigration. It's brought some heavy criticism for the tactics used by arresting officers. President Trump says that officers could do more. Let's take a quick listen together.
Well, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
Jared, what do you make of the president's comments?
I mean, Donald Trump's got a Donald Trump. I mean, it's very hard to justify taking children out of their mother's arms and masked law enforcement people who won't even disclose who they are or their badge numbers, ripping people off the street just because they're walking around and they may be non-white presenting. So that's what Donald Trump's going to say. Of course, But that's not going to obscure the truth, which is this is a policy
Not
that's
hard to
wildly
take
unpopular.
criminals off the street, Natasha.
I mean, Matt, I do my best not to cut
Not
you
hard
off.
to take criminals off the street, Natasha. It's not hard to follow the law and punish lawbreakers.
Okay,
Donald
Matt,
Trump is doing
I do
exactly
my
what he
best not to
campaigned on.
interrupt you, but if that's the conversation we're going to have,
apologize.
they're pulling anybody off the street who is non-white presenting, and that's just a fact. You see it every single day on the news. People, they're throwing protesters down, ripping phones out of people's hands. That's not America. That's what Donald Trump wants. That's a police state, and that's because he's distracting from the disgusting behavior that he has going on. But that's not actual law enforcement. And what it's going to do long term is turn a whole generation of people away from cooperating with local law enforcement, allowing organized crime back into these cities where they haven't had a foothold in generations, like in New York, like in Chicago, like in Miami, because local law enforcement was not in the immigration enforcement business. So now, if you are non-white presenting in any of these places, you can't go to the police, and the organized crime has free reign. So good luck to you with your next generation of trying to police in these cities.
I'm being told
They've
we're out of
already
time.
broken the law by being here, Jared. They're already
Actually,
here.
it's a civil infraction.
They're here
and
illegally.
I would hope you would know
They
the difference,
deserve
Matt,
to be
because
deported.
when
They are here illegally.
And
Period.
ambushing people when they come to have their due process in court is a deceptive and disgusting tactic, waiting outside a courtroom for somebody to actually show up for their hearing.
All right,
The courts
gentlemen.
don't think so.
I hear the music playing us out. I appreciate the conversation. Matt Klink, Jared Bernstein, thank you so much.